I started recording. Today we will take a new chapter. But before we go to the new chapter, next week we have a quiz, right or not?
It's written on the weekly plan on Thursday that we have on Sunday.
Yes, we have it on Sunday. So we didn't sort connect to testing. Okay. The quiz will be on omnivorous dilemma. So we have to solve the connect to testing. Okay. Open with me page 278, please. 278. Did you solve it, girls? Because it was written as a homework.
Yes, Miss, we solved it.
Okay.
Yes.
So open page 278, 278. First question. First question, Asma. Asma not here. Bilqis. Bilqis. Bayan. Buthaina.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, dear. Question number 1, Buthaina. Read it, please.
Okay. Which of the following sentences explain a specific cause of obesity? Should I read the ABCD or?
Yes, dear, please.
Most researchers track American rising obesity rate to the 1970s. On the beverage itself, you can buy 875 calories of soda for $1 or 170 calories of a fruit juice from concentrate. Number C, when food is abundant and cheap, people will eat more of it and get fat. D, you begin to see why processing food is such a good strategy for getting people to eat more of them.
So which answer is the correct one? Which choice?
C, miss.
Why B?
C.
C. Why C, dear?
Because it's talk about the food and abundant and that's cheap.
Yes, when it's abundant and it's cheap, so people eat more. Will eat more and get fat. Okay, thank you, dear. Dalia?
Yes, miss.
Yes, Dalia, question number 2.
Miss.
Yes. Yes, Leia?
I'm sorry for interrupting, but can I please go to the bathroom, please?
Yes, okay. Dalia, number 2.
Teacher, which page?
278. Dalia?
What, 2?
Read the question, dear.
The Surgeon General is raising alarms over the epidemic. Read the sentence below and then choose the answer that is the most accurate inference. What the Surgeon General is raising alarms over the...
Where are you, Dalia? Dalia, where are you?
78.
Yes, okay. Is raising alarms, yes?
Over the epidemic of farms bills designed to keep the level of cheap corn the supermarket will continue to be the unhealthiest.
Yes, which choice is correct? Did you solve it, Dalia? It was homework. Durra? Fatima? So if you solved it, girls, raise your hand, please.
Miss Nada, did you call me? I'm Durra.
Yes, Durra. Yes, dear.
I'm so sorry if I didn't hear you.
It's okay, dear. Did you solve the homework?
Yes.
So do you know the answer of number 2? Would you please explain the question first?
Yes, they want us to like after reading this paragraph, they want like as like another meaning, or what does it give off?
Yes, so?
I think it's B.
Yes, why it's B?
Because here in the paragraph they are saying that the presidents are like they want to make the production of corn and soybeans more because they are cheaper and they're more abundant and easier to grow
Yes,
than
and they are the raw materials for
for what?
for junk food.
Yes,
Yes, yes. Thank you, dear. Thank you, Dora.
you're welcome. Miss.
Dalia. Dalia. You understand now the question?
Yes.
Okay. Part B, Dareen. Page
Yes,
239. Yes, Dareen, please read the question.
Which statement from the text best supports your answer to part A?
Which one supports what Dora have just chosen? That the government signs or the president signs agreements for the production of corn and soybeans.
Is it A?
Why? Read it.
According to the Surgeon General,
Surgeon.
obesity today is official an epidemic. It is arguable to the most pressing public health problem we face.
So where is any word related to presidents? So read B.
Once security of agriculture thought to drive up agriculture yields in order to drive down the price of the industrial food chain's raw materials.
Huh? Is it close?
Yes, it is much closer.
So it is B.
Miss,
Yes.
Miss, I joined now. I'm Asma. Because
Okay.
you called me and I didn't answer you.
Oh, because I wrote your absent. I have to. Okay, I'll search for the eraser.
So
and
Miss,
then-
the answer of part B is letter B,
Yes.
choice B.
Yes.
And part A is also B, right?
Yes. Okay. Fatima. Question
Miss.
3.
Shall I read the paragraph?
Yes.
Most researchers trace America's rising obesity rates to the 1970s. This was, of course, the same decade that America embraced a cheap food foreign policy and began dismantling 40 years of program designed to prevent overproduction. One Secretary of Agriculture sought to drive up agricultural yields in order to drive down the price of industrial food chains raw materials, particularly corns and soybeans. It worked. The price of food is no longer a political issue. Since the Nixon administration, farmers in the United States have managed to produce 500 additional calories per person every day. Each of us is heroically managing to put away 200 of those surplus calories at the end of their trip up the food chain.
Yes. So what does he talk here about, dear? Well, the purpose of the paragraph is what really? What is the main idea of this paragraph? Why it is written? To show what?
Here they are like saying like I put it actually have two answers, but I'm not sure of them. I have C and D. Convince farmers to stop overproducing food. Describe why farmers produce corn and soybeans more than any other crop.
So it is either C or D?
It's not D, but I guess it's C.
In C, he talks about the audience is the general population and not farmers. And D? Huh? Not the central purpose describes with
Yeah.
why farmers
It's not.
produce corn and soybeans. Huh? So here is most, when he says most researchers trace America's rising obesity. What's he doing here?
He's talking about like how the overproduction has started, and like what is the main reason, and they now that the cheap food
Yes.
farm
So
policy is
here
not
he provides you a what about the topic?
the background.
Background. Yes, dear. So
B.
the choice will be
B.
B. Excellent, Fatima. For Ghada?
Yes, miss.
Ghada for?
Yes, which of the lines from the paragraph above best support the idea that if more food is available, people will eat more food?
Hmm. Which one?
Is it C?
Why? Here he talks about one Secretary of Agriculture sought to draw up agricultural deals in order to drive. Mhm. What is D? What D says, what B says, what A says. To support the idea that if more food is available, people will eat more. Dora, did you solve it?
Yes, miss.
Which one?
Is it B?
B?
Yes.
Why?
I think it's B because it like supports the idea that people are eating more food. I don't know.
Uh, who solved this, girls? Only Fatima? Fatima has just answered. Okay, Lujain?
Is it D?
Why you picked D?
Because he started to say that the farmers in the United States managed to produce 500 calories per day, and each of us started to manage to put 200 more than they need.
Yes, excellent. Yes, Lujain. Thank you, dear. Jana?
Yes. Yes, miss.
Jana. Page 280.
Yes. Teacher, is it B?
Read it, dear.
Okay. Which sentence in this paragraph best states its main idea?
Yes.
Human appetite, it turns out, it's surprisingly elastic, which makes excellent evolutionary sense. It behooved our hunter-gatherer ancestors to feast whenever the opportunity to feast presented itself, allowing them to build up reserves of fat against future famine.
Yes. So the question is what? What does he want here, dear?
To say what's the main idea.
Yes. So which one? What is the main idea here, yes, Jana? What does he talk about? What does he talk about? You just read it. What does he talk about?
That that we should allow. No, we should build.
So who solved this, girls? Who solved it?
Miss, it's not C.
I want someone who solved it to discuss it together. لجين يعني in the whole homework لجين سارة فاطمة. Okay, Sarah?
Miss, I cannot raise my hand because it's lagging. I am trying.
Okay, Najwa. So Sarah?
Miss, it's either B or D, but I'm not
So,
sure.
tell me why would it be the B and why would it be D?
Because B, I think, Miss, they mentioned the main topic, which is the thrifty gene. But indeed, they concluded it by saying that the famine will never come to us.
Excellent. So it is D. When they concluded it, it means that they said it clearly and they stated clearly that our body is genetically programmed to store the food. Okay?
Yes.
So it is D to summarize it. He summarized the idea. Okay. Thank you, dear. Najwa 6.
If the author wanted to add evidence to better support the main idea of the paragraph, which of the following would be the most effective? I think it's C, a research on how genetics identified the thrifty gene.
Excellent. About the thrifty gene. By the way, girls, when he talked to us about the thrifty gene, did he give us evidence? Did he give us any scientific evidence? Or he just mentioned it?
He mentioned it on.
Yes, without any scientific evidence.
Teacher.
Yes, dear.
What was number 3? Was it D or B?
Number 3 was D. Wait, no. Number 3 was B.
Was B. Okay, thank you. To provide background.
Yes. Okay, so we've solved connect to testing for chapter 12. Please solve the connect to testing for chapter 15. Okay?
For the test, I would to have the same the same way of questions.
Yes.
Because there are some questions they are really somehow confusing.
The problem is I have to bring the literature questions from the site, so I try to choose the easiest.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Solve Frankenstein's cat. يعني not this week. We will solve it together next week after we finish the exam. Okay. Okay. So we finished previous time Frankenstein's cat, and today we'll take a new chapter, which is chapter 16, page 364. 364. I'll share the PowerPoint. Here is it, girls. Do you see it? Yes. So this is chapter 16, and the first thing we do, we take the academic vocabulary. Number 1 is memoir. Memoir? What is a memoir? Memoir is the first person account. First person account, it means it's written by me. I wrote it. Of a writer's experience. So I would like to write a memoir about the years I spent in education school. So explain that an autobiography usually covers one's entire life. So when I write my autobiography, I write my entire life. Autobiography or biography is not written by me. Autobiography is I write my own life story. I write it all in autobiography. But if I took a period of time, if I took only the 3 or the years I spent teaching in education school, it will be a memoir to cover only part of my life. So I do not mention where did I was born or my college, my university, or my hometown. Just the years, the few years I spent in a place. The memoir about his childhood made me realize how fortunate the writer had been, because here he will write only about the childhood memoir. Okay, then First person, a first person, we discussed that like in each chapter we discussed. First person is the type of point of view, his point of view, written from the writer's perspective. He uses I. So when I write my autobiography, I say I. When I write a memoir, I say I. When I write a narrative, a story that has happened to me, I write I, me, we. Second part and third part is something else. Second part with then when I say you, third part when I say he or they or she or it. So the first person is the type of point of view written from the writer's perspective, I. Points of view include first, second, third, as we said. We have the first, we have the second, we have the third. The third is sometimes limited, sometimes omniscient. We discussed it like hundreds of times now. So if I was right in the first person narration, made me feel as if I was right in the middle of the action. This is a sentence about the first person. First person is when I tell a story that from my perspective, from the author's perspective, about his thoughts and ideas, but he is not a character. It's not an autobiography. It is a fiction, but maybe happened to him or maybe didn't happen to him. Okay? Again, memoir is happened to the author. A memoir happened to the author. Autobiography, his story, his life story. First person is the way he writes it. Maybe I write, remember when we write a narrative, sometimes we write a narrative that hasn't ever happened to us. This is first person, but I use I or we. Then the claim. What is the claim? Claim? What is a claim, girls? We said it hundreds of times. What is a claim? Say it, girls. Claim.
A statement that tries to prove a point.
Yes. A statement that is used to prove a point. Statement based on an opinion that a writer tries to prove it's true. This is his claim. Claim is the main idea, is the thesis statement. So, when you talk, when you have a long conversation with your mom and she says to you at the end, what's your claim? Okay? What's your claim? What do you want? What's your claim is what do you want? What do you want to say? What do you want to tell? What do you want to declare? Okay? So the candidates claim that he was honest, did not convince the voters. Claim is what you want to say. What you want to say is supported by a reason. So I have a claim. I think there is something. I have a claim. I have something to say. Okay, support it. Support it. If you want to say something, support it. How can I support it? I support it by reasons. Use reasons to support your claim. Use reasons to support your claim. Again, use reasons to support your claim. Maybe a cause, explanation, justification to support my claim. Reasons are facts and ideas that answer the question, why is the writer's claim true? So I am the author, I have a claim, I have to support it even in the writing. When I write an essay, when I have an opinion, I write my claim and then I support it with reasons. Okay, so one reason to try out for the debate team is that it looks good on college application. Then, after I support my claim with reason, I support my claim with evidence. Evidence is from real life. Might be data, expert opinions, statistics, research, studies. So evidence is information that supports the claim and reasons. So I have what? I have CER. I have a claim to answer to the question in one complete sentence. And claim is what I want to say. What I want to say, claim. What is your claim? What do you want? What do you want? I want this. I want to convince you. Of course, it's not written like this, but this is, يعني it is, the claim is written as we have practiced many times by twisting the sentence. Instead of I say I believe I do, I just write the claim and then I support. So for example, if we talk about that, the thrifty gene is the reason that people would like to store more calories in their bodies. This is the claim. I should give evidence. I should give evidence to support it, and then reason to how the evidence you less supports your claim. So if I would say an evidence, so I'll bring a statistic, or I will get a scientific document or a scientific explanation to the thrifty gene metabolism, or how it works, okay, function, how it functions. The reason is why, okay, or how. So the claim, evidence, reason. Are you with me?
Yes.
Then we reach to something we also discussed before many times. When I want to persuade someone, I either persuade him by mind or affect him by heart. I either persuade him by mind or by heart. And we said it before, we said that Aristotle is the Greek philosopher who has divided the way of persuading into rhetorical. Rhetorical is to persuade. Rhetorical is to persuade, to give an argument, a strong one. He divided in either logos, pathos, and ethos. So logos here, we will take the logos today and the pathos. Logos is logos, logical. Support for an argument that uses logic and reason as opposed to emotions and opinions. So I will not use opinions or emotions to support my claim. Logos, so the whole topic is about what it is about. It's about claim, and how do I support the claim? Either I support it with logos or pathos. Logos is logic appeal. So when I give him data, so I want to write about, when I want to write about that the agreement, the agriculture agreement that the president signed, is the reason, the first one reason for the production or surplus production of corn and soybeans. Okay, here is my claim. How can I support my claim logically? So I will mention the agriculture agreement. So I will say the first agreement published or signed in 1934 by President, I don't know who. The second agreement signed by President. So I give data to talk to the mind, to convince the person in front of me with the mind, with data, numbers, statistics. Support for an argument that uses logic and reason. So I will not say to him, I will not play on the heart part. No, I will say depend on data. So logic arguments can be either deductive or inductive. Deductive is specific to general. Inductive, general to specific. It is a long story, deductive or inductive. So you are just asked to know the logos, okay? So the judge's summary was all logos, she never smiled or frowned. She was just neutral. Why? Because she gave only facts. This is the logos. Number two, pathos. Pathos is when I play on the emotional appeal, when I play on your heart. Support for an argument that appeals to emotions such as pity, sympathy, or sorrow. So when I talk to you about obesity in the world, and it is an epidemic that has been spreading all around the world. So I start to be pity, make you feel pity. And I say to you, do you look at those, that it is number one reason, no, number one reason is logos. Do you look at those fat people who, or obesity, people who suffer from obesity and they cannot move off their chairs, and then I start showing you pictures of people who can hardly go to the bathroom and people who cannot function their daily life, and I show you pictures of people who died and they couldn't hold them and carry them to the grave, and they brought like a wagon to transfer to their grave. And so I play on your heart, on your emotions, not on your data, not on your logos. The photograph of the wanted child was a great use of pathos. Pathos is when I play on the emotional passion, from the word passion. Pathos. Logos, data, pathos, heart. Here is the triangle. Ethos, we didn't discuss ethos today. Ethos is when I trust the one in front of me. Leave it now. Today we have the pathos and logos. Logos is logic, pathos is emotion. Okay, logos is logic, pathos is emotion. Okay? Okay, so again, we discussed the academic vocabulary. Okay, Jude, what is the memoir, Jude?
Yes, Miss.
What is a memoir?
It's the first person account.
Yes, explain it in your own words. What is a memoir? To cover what? Memoir covers what, dear?
The entire life of someone.
Yes, few years in someone's life, a stage or period. Or Kadra, what is the first person? Kadra? Jumana? Is Kadra not here? Jumana? Neither Kadra or Jumana here?
Miss Kadra said that her Teams wasn't working early on. I don't know if it worked.
Okay. Lana? Lana?
Yes, Miss, sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's okay, Lana. What is the first person?
It's a type of point of view.
Yes. Explain it in your own words, Lana. يعني طب ليان فضل.
Yes, Miss.
Explain what is the first person point of view.
It's when the author uses pronouns like I and me, and it's usually about a personal experience, like an autobiography or a memoir.
Yes, thank you. طب Lana, can you say to me what is the third person point of view? طب Layan, continue. What is the third person point of view?
Yes, you mean what we use
Lana.
in the third person?
Yes, what we use in what?
She.
He talks about someone else.
Yes.
Yes. ليان مغربي.
Yes, Miss.
Claim.
Claim, it's a statement that's used to, like, when the author wants to prove his or her opinion, and then they use two other elements to support their claim.
Yes, thank you. Lina Ammar, what is a reason? Lina Ammar.
Yes, Miss.
Yes, dear.
It's to try out for the debate team.
Yes, what is a reason?
facts and ideas.
Yes, thoughts and ideas to support what? Support the claim.
What?
To support the claim.
Yes.
Lilian? Lean.
Yes, miss.
To support a claim, dear. Lilian, what is evidence?
Yeah. It's
Lina Yad, what is evidence?
Yes, miss. It's information that supports claims and reasons.
Yes. Lilian, what is evidence again in your words, Lilian?
it's opinions.
There is something wrong with your connection, dear. Okay. Lujain, what is so Lujain, explain for me the claim evidence reasoning, Lujain.
The claim is when you're going to state your point, like why are you going to write this? The evidence is how you're going to
No,
support.
why are you going to write this? Or the excerpt, you mean? Yani the main reason, the main claim. What do you want to say? Right?
Yes, what do you want to say? The entire. And then the evidence is how you're going to support your claim by giving like examples or like stories, short stories. And the reasoning is going to explain the evidence that you use to support this claim that you make.
Excellent, dear. Excellent, Lujain. Excellent. Okay, Najwa?
Yes, miss.
Yes, Najwa? Logos.
Logos like things from logic.
Yes.
They're like facts.
Yeah, when I convince or persuade using
Facts, real
okay.
logic.
Yes. Noor Bilal.
Yes, miss. The pathos is when you want to convince by using the emotional appeal, by using the heart.
Yes, dear. Okay, so we'll stop here and we start because I want to give you the background on this in the second period. Okay? We take 5 minutes break and we come. Don't be late, girls. I'll stop recording.